Hey everyone, welcome to SJAM Hackathon's Club UI UX Design Workshop. Today's workshop will be split into two sessions. The first hour of the session will be just covering the basics of UI UX design and some theory, as well as the software setup. And then we'll get into a small hands-on activity, which would be just designing a small web page. And then the second hour of the workshop will be covering some more designing elements and getting more familiar with the softwares. It's optional to attend, but it's highly recommended. So we'll be designing Spotify's app screen, and it's pretty cool. And we'll be learning lots of new features in the different softwares that you'll be using. So now off to Andrew, who will begin the first hour of today's workshop with theory.
What is UI UX designing? UI stands for user interface, and UX stands for user experience. User experience design is the process of developing and improving the quality of interaction between a user and all facets of a company. User experience design is in theory a non-digital or application-wise practice, but used and defined predominantly by digital industries. UX design is not about visuals, it focuses on the overall feel and experience. User interface design is a purely digital practice. It considers all the visual, interactive elements of a product's interface, including buttons, icons, spacing, typography, color schemes, and responsive design. The goal of UI design is to visually guide the user through a product's interface. It's all about creating an intuitive experience that doesn't require the user to think too much. UI design transfers the brand strength and visual assets to a product's interface, making sure the design is consistent, coherent, and aesthetically pleasing. So here is a great example to separate the two aspects. In this picture, we see two bottles of ketchup. UI on the left-hand side demonstrates a very good-looking ketchup bottle. But on a design side, if you've ever used a glass ketchup bottle, chances are your experience with them aren't so good. They are very hard to get the ketchup out, and you can easily dump too much and create a mess. On the right-hand side, that demonstrates the UX. To improve our experience, we store the ketchup bottle upside down, so it is much easier to use. Why is it important? The UX UI design of the application improves the experience and customer satisfaction that ultimately helps increase the number of users of the specific application. The UI and UX design help to win the consumer's confidence and make them use your application or website. Also, when users open your app, you have just a few seconds to leave an impression on them. They will only decide to continue if your app design is compelling enough, else they are going to leave. The next major factor is engagement. If users find it gripping, only then they will navigate further on the app. Here are some tips to improve UI UX for your next project. First, maintain uniformity. You should ensure the design to be unvarying throughout the app. It should not be limited to icons and buttons, but also the color and pattern must be the same. A consistent app design increases the familiarity with the app and makes it easy for the user to interact with it. Secondly, make it as interactive as possible. An interactive app is more user-friendly, and when you allow users to interact with the app, it creates a connection between them. An interactive app provides user with the freedom to navigate from one window to another comfortably. Thirdly, simple and normal design. The design of your app should provide exceptional services with minimum input in order to enhance the interest of the users. An app with a lot of clutters confuses and frustrates customers, thus puts users away. Straightforward navigation rather helps customers to easily go along with the app. Next, we will take a look at the common tools and softwares used in software design. To start, we have Adobe XD. Adobe XD is a powerful design and prototyping application that is free on both Windows and Mac. Figma, a web-based designer that is aimed for providing a free cloud storage and easy portability. There is also a desktop version that is built in Electron. Sketch. This software is only available on macOS. Sketch allows you to create and prototype your applications. Sketch files are somewhat universal, meaning you can open and modify them using Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Adobe Photoshop, a powerful raster-based graphics editor that contains many powerful tools, filters, and is integrated with artificial intelligence. Last but not least, Adobe Illustrator, a powerful vector-based graphics editor, allows you to prototype with shapes, colors, effects, typography, and animations. Next up, I will hand it over to Sohail, who will be going over software setup procedures.
Thank you, Andrew, for that. And now we'll get started for doing the actual designing and getting more familiar with the different softwares. So I'm going to start off with Adobe XD first, as most of our users are in Windows, and I'll be doing Figma later in a bit. And so when you first open your Adobe XD application, it's going to look something like this. So what you want to do is first click on Web 1920, and that's going to open up something that looks like this. So I'm going to just organize it here. So, okay. So it should look something like this. And then once you're here, what you want to do is first do Control-Shift-I. So what Control-Shift-I is going to do is open up your File Explorer. And what you want to do is click on all of the assets in the design folder that was provided for this workshop in and you can find it in the Discord under the design announcements. So we're just going to get all of these in there, and I'm just going to import. And first off, we're going to hold down the shift key, and we're going to make it smaller. So this just makes sure that it's proportional when it's resizing. So now we're going to drag in the color palette, as that's the main thing we're going to be using right now. So we're going to do Control++ to make the screen size bigger. Or another option, if you have a mouse, you can do Control and scroll wheel, like that. Okay, so what you want to do first is change the background of this. And actually first I'm going to show you what we're going to be making today. So it's going to be this. So this is the design that I created right now. And what we're going to be making is this. So I'm just going to get a frame here. Okay. So we're going to be making this basic web page with like a really nice animation just going between the pages. And it should be pretty easy to do. Hopefully nothing too difficult occurs. But yeah, let's get started now. So first off, what you want to do is, of course, get your color palette in there. And what you want to do is use this eyedropper tool. So this eyedropper tool is going to allow you to click on any color anywhere. So any color anywhere. And if you want to get one of these colors, for example, the background color, we want to click on here simply. And then after you complete that, we're going to be working on getting this top menu on there. So we're going to be making this menu from scratch, and please make sure that you have the font Poppins on your machine if you are using Adobe XD. So what we're going to do is just simply click on the screen, and we're going to type in home, and then just going to Control C, Control V, and we're going to do career, and then again Control C, Control V, drag with your mouse, holding down Shift, and then do projects, and then simply do contact. It's the same thing, we're just copy and pasting. So contact. And then lastly, what you want to do is just highlight over all of these, and you want to use an eyedropper tool again, and you want to drag over here and click on black. So now you should have something that looks like that. So next what we're going to do is create a small button to go beside it. So we're going to hold down Shift, and I'm using the rectangle tool over here. I'm just going to hold down Shift and just kind of let go of Shift right here, and when you reach your desired height, then you can just drag out like that. So now what we're going to do is round off the edges. So what you want to do is, so I'm going to zoom in here, we're going to click on these little buttons on the side. I think you can see them now. So you can just click and drag. So click and drag. And that should round off all the corners for you. And now what you want to do is you want to go on here, and you should see an option over here named border, and you just want to uncheck that because borders don't really look nice in this instance. And we're just resizing it just to make it look kind of cool. And we're just gonna Control C, Control V the contact, and just simply drag it in there. Really simple. And then what you want to do, it looks a little big to me, so what I'm going to do is hold down Shift and then click on the bottom dot and just drag up. And that should resize it for you. And there you go. So now we're going to name this Sign In. So you have Sign In. Just kind of center it here. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay. So now what we're going to do is make this white color, and you want to make the actual button black. So now an important tip here, what you can do after you use the eyedropper tool, you want to go in and select your color, and you should see a small little plus icon over here, and you just want to click that. And that's going to save the color for the future whenever you want to use it. So now that we have it saved, we don't have to use the eyedropper tool every time, so it saves us some time in the process. So now we're going to select all three of these, just normally selecting it, right, with your mouse. And then we're going to head over here. So we're going to select all of these, and we're going to head over here to the font. So this is where you select your fonts, and for this design, we're going to be using something called Poppins. So just type in Poppins, and it should just open up like that. And also make sure that you have it installed in your Creative Cloud if you are on Adobe XD. So now that we've created the basic kind of menu for in Adobe XD, we're going to head over to Figma, where we can create our design. So what you want to do to create an artboard in Figma is click on this symbol, and then head over to Desktop, and you want to do anything works really, but we can do probably a MacBook, right? So here you have a MacBook, and just simply to rename it, you can just click up here, and we can name it landing page. So once you name a landing page, it should change up here. So again, pretty much the exact same as Adobe XD, so you should be able to follow along relatively well. So to import again, you do Control-Shift-K instead of I, and then you can go to beginner, and you can go click, 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 and open. And instead, Adobe XD, it automatically does it, but in Figma, you're just gonna click once and wherever you want it. So I'm just gonna do that, and yeah, so there you go. So now same thing as you can see. So what you want to do is just drag the color palette down, and then we can just move this the rest of this stuff out here because we don't really need it at the moment. And yeah, so here we go. So phone illustrations here. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of organize it on the side, just like we did in the other one. You can just delete these extra things that pop up. So now we have our color palette and pretty much the exact same thing. So what you want to do is go to Fill, Eyedropper tool, instead is over here, and you can just click here. So very nice and simple. So now what we want to do is create our actual menu. So what you want to do is simply click on the T tool, which stands for text, or you can just select T on your keyboard and just draw out a small little box, or you can just click and kind of zoom in here, and we're going to type in home, and once you've done that, you just click out and simply just resize to the size you want. So now I'm going to change the font right away. So we're going to go to Poppins and drag out. So, and then we're going to go do Control C, Control V, and we can put career. Let's make sure it fits, and then we're going to do projects, and then we want to do contact, and then lastly what you want to do is the sign in button. So again, the square tool is at the top this time, and hold down your shift key and just click till you get the, and just drag out till you get the desired height that you want, and then let go of the shift key and then just drag out. Simple as that. And then to get your rounded corners, what you want to do is zoom in quite a bit and then just round it off, just like that. Also, another option is putting it in here if you don't want to zoom in. So right now this looks a little small to me, so I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger, and that looks pretty good. And maybe we can make it more, increase the radius a bit more, and we're going to copy the contact just like we did for the other one, and we're going to put this font size to 7. So once you do the font size to 7, and simply you're going to right click, and then you're going to say bring to front. As you bring to front, you should be able to drag on there. So just like that, and we have ourselves a button we can use. So we can name this button sign in, and just make sure you get the borders nice and small, and there you go. So as you saw for the previous design, we made this white and we put this as black. So let's put this black here. Actually, sorry, not black. We're gonna go back to our color palette, and we're just gonna do our hex tool, and we're gonna use black. All right. So now what you want to do is just go back here, and you just want to select all of these, right? So select all of them and just bring them somewhere over here. Just drag them down. So you drag and just click on it, and you can move it just like if you used Canva. It's very similar to that. So now what we're gonna do is go back to Adobe XD, and I won't be showing every single time I'm going to Figma. I'm just showing it for the beginning stages. So we can go back to our Adobe XD file here, and so we have our design here. So now what we want to do is put in our first illustration. So very simple, and we're just going to make it a little bit bigger, and we just want it to be aligned with this. And always when you're resizing any image, hold down shift so it adjusts proportionally, or else what will happen is like this, which is not what we want. So once you've adjusted the size, what you're going to do is go back here and then select home, and we're going to type in remotely. So remotely, and we're going to change the font size of that text to 31, and we're going to name it bold. We're going to put it bold, so right on the right side. So once you have that, we're going to go back, and we're going to put this kind of to a light grayish color, just around there, I would say. Right, and then we're going to Control C, Control V, and we're going to actually make a nice header. So we're going to put this font size as 57, and we can name it. And we can type get new opportunities. opportunities. Okay, and then you're gonna select the color. So as always, we just use the eyedropper tool, or because we already got it before, you can just select this color black. And that should be pretty much it. And then I just do Control C, Control V. And we're going to type in enjoy working with us. And again, this should be relatively similar in Figma, so you shouldn't be behind on this. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the Discord chat, and we'll be happy to help. So now what we're going to do is create a small button, just like we did for the sign-in button. We're going to just create a nice big button here. So we're going to just expand, and that looks about right. And then we're just going to click on here, and we're going to adjust. So it should be a little bit round, and we're going to reduce the width to just about there, and get it to look like that. Now we're going to get rid of the outline because it does not look good in my opinion. And we're just going to do remotely. On remotely, you can do Control C, Control V, and just bring it up there. So now we're going to type in learn more. And you want to change that fill color to black. So again, to change the fill color, all you want to do is select here and go on black. So that looks pretty good so far. And now what we're going to do is create our small little design thing over here. So back to our previous design. So we're going to create this slope. So to create this, what we're going to need to do is actually, there's something called pen tool, right? So, or P. And you can just go in here. So to use this tool, all you have to do is just click, and you just want to go, let's say, up here we can start by, and you can just click and then just go down, and you can just create random curves, kind of. So highly recommend to just play around with this and see what you can do. So just round, round, and we can just go all the way down here. And then once you're done that, you can select tool and here, and we can just drag it down here, and we can just put this down so it's a nice cross. Okay, so now what we do is get this from this side. We're going to connect the left to the right, so simply select the pen tool again, and I'm just going to drag all the way over there. And then once you do that, you should have filling option. So once you do that, you should be able to fill, and obviously you can adjust it afterwards, however you would like. So just like that. So that looks pretty good to me. Maybe just this, again, like put like that, or something like that, and then get rid of your border. So it looks pretty similar to what we had in our example. And yeah, so we can just adjust this, and yeah, that looks okay. And just dip this down here. Okay, so now that we have that, we're just going to create another. And also in Figma, it should be the exact same. So again, just a pen tool and exact same thing. So you just select round, 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 round. Exact same thing, right? And I'm not going to do it here, but just to show you that the pen tool is over there. All right, so back to Adobe XD. We're going to head back over there. And we're going to get started by doing this a little design over here, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. I'm going to adjust the height just by a bit. And we're going to select the rectangle tool. And you can hold down shift again and just make another button. Kind of looks like this. And I'm gonna actually just make sure this is pretty high up there, like that, kind of. So, and then just round it off and extend it just off the page and make it a little bit thinner. So now what you want to do is use a pen tool and select that and get rid of the border. And we're going to add this to our color palette or color swatch for easier access the next time. So now that we have that, I'm going to make it a little bit thinner, and that looks to be pretty good. So I'm going to just make this just to get a little bit nicer flow on here. So something like that. You can be creative. You don't really need to follow exactly what it is. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to follow actually. But again, it doesn't really matter as long as it's kind of like a little bit of a subtle difference between the rest of the things. So now what we can do is select the ellipse tool, which is a circle, and you're going to hold down shift and then just drag out, just like that, to about that size. You're going to get rid of the border and, you're going to get rid of the fill, and you're going to increase the border to just around 7. So just the width to 7, and we're going to select here and click on the our color swatch over here. So we're going to drag our circle out here, and I would say just above, and get it aligned with the top of that. And it just gives a little bit of a differentiating factor, and in my opinion looks pretty cool as well. So we're going to increase the size of this image just to about that size in proportion with the rest of the things. So now what we're going to do is use the triangle tool, and same thing with the circle. We're just going to hold down shift and just drag out. And always when you're doing these types of shapes, you want them to be proportional so it looks a little nice. So just drag out, and yep. So once you get the lines, as you can see, those pink lines right here, that means the height is the same and everything's kind of aligned together. So you're going to hold down shift and you can go straight in one line, and you can just go dip down here, and we're going to rotate it by like 20 degrees maybe, and we're going to get rid of fill, and we're going to use the border and increase to the same size as the circle, which was 7, and we're going to select the orange color for this one. Simply use a pen tool, and we're going to add that to our color swatch. Alright, and for this one I'm just going to make it a little bit more, okay, so that looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this button here and just make it a little bit bigger. Of course nothing is perfect just about yet, but just make it a little bit bigger just to get a little bit better viewing. So now that we have all of this, and it looks pretty set in stone, so now I don't think we're missing anything from our design. So, or actually no, sorry, we're gonna get start with a little line. So we're gonna just to know that you are on the home page for the user to know. Hold down shift, and we're gonna make a really thin rectangle here, just about that. And you can get rid of your border, and you can fill it in with your black color. So I would make it a little bit thinner, just about there. And yeah, so that looks pretty similar to what I had for my previous design, and yeah. So now we're gonna start by extending it. So we're gonna extend this artboard, and all you have to do is double click and just draw out like this. Really simple. And then all you want to do is, also in Figma, it should be the exact same. So just click on your artboard. Except you have to click on the left here, and then all you have to do is just drag drag down here. So just click here and then just drag down to make your artboard bigger or smaller. Make it again, just click here and then just make your artboard bigger or smaller. So back to Adobe XD now. We're gonna continue with the bottom half, which is just this part. And we're gonna start by getting our this little phone picture, and we're just gonna hold down Shift and make it big proportionally, and make sure it's aligned with the top. So that looks pretty good. And maybe a little bit smaller. And now we're gonna go into our file here, and we're gonna open up our lorem ipsum text. So make sure you're gonna go into your file explorer, and you're gonna go to your design workshop folder, and we're gonna head over to beginner, and we're just gonna open up your lorem ipsum text. So Control A, Control C, and then simply select your text, and just gonna select middle, and it should look something like that. And make sure to have the font size to 26, and make sure the weightage is regular. And then lastly, all we have to do is just drag in our three icons here, hold down Shift, make it bigger, and kind of just space them out at the bottom. So there we go. It looks to be pretty good. And there you go. So there's our little design for first page, and then we'll just head over to second page really quickly, and we'll quickly create the other page of the design. So what you want to do is, so for the second page, we'll be making this design. So really simple again. So all you want to do is delete the other stuff. So you can delete all of this. So just drag and click delete, and you can get rid of everything, maybe besides the icons at the bottom. But yeah, so now for this design, so we're going to go back and refer to it. So I'm going to put this off on the side here. So for this design, we're going to just create a square and hold down Shift. Right, just like that. And it's just a nice big square. And then you're going to see this little button over here, which is to do different radius for each corner. And then this is for the top left, so we're going to put this radius to we're going to actually first do all the radius at once. So this, and then we're going to go back here and then put this guy to 0. Or sorry, we're going to put the bottom two corners to 0. So that would be bottom right, so it's 0, right, just like that. And we're going to go to the bottom left, and we're going to go 0 as well. So there we go. And then to create our thing here, so now we're going to get rid of our border, and we're going to copy from our get new opportunities and just Control V. And you can just center the text and type in we are hiring, and just want to change that color to the pink color. and just kind of align it here, nice and center. And next we're going to use the ellipse tool again, and we're just going to select bottom, and I'm just going to go up to here-ish, and we want a little curve, and then go down here, and up over here. So then just select down, and select across. And then select out, and then you want to fill in and take out your border, and you can fill in with whatever color, but we want this pinkish color. So now what we're going to do is do Control-Shift-I, head over back to here, and we can head over to Design Workshop, Beginner, and it should be in there, and you can just already import it, but I already have it imported here, so I'm going to get these two images in here. So there we go. So how I did that was so what we're going to do, so when you first get it, it's going to be the same size as this, so you don't have to worry about sizing. All you want to do is change the radius to 30, and not radius, sorry, the rotation to 30, so 30 degrees, just rotate it to the right, and then negative 30 to rotate it to the left. And that's pretty much it for the top bit. And then we're going to copy paste from here, Control-C, Control-V, and our company, our mock company, is going to be named remotely. So what you want to do is just align it with here and with there. So that looks pretty clean to me. And for this one, we're going to just select this, and we can change it to the right. So that just means when we are animating it, it's just going to shift over to right and left, just make a little bit of our animation here. And then you're going to put in the lorem ipsum text in here, and it's going to look something like that. So you can just copy this one actually, and just extend it like that. That's it, all you have to do. And then what you're going to do is, again, copy, take these, and just hold down Shift and just drag up. And that should be good. So I'm just going to make some spacing here. And yeah, that should be pretty good. Nice and simple web page once again. And hopefully this got you a grasp on it. So if we play it, there you go. And as well, we forgot one last thing actually. So we're gonna head over back to this rectangle, and we actually want a drop shadow. And for the drop shadow, we want to put it as X as 6, Y as 6, and then last one as 9. So once you do that, nice drop shadow, and you're just going to click this, and you can bring the opacity down just by a tad. And also, as you can see here, this isn't exactly matching with the edge. It's totally fine. All you have to do is just drag, and should look pretty clean. And there you go. So that should be pretty much it for that. So if you click and go in here, and now it looks really, really nice. And just a simple, fake company kind of design. But yeah, it's just for practice. And got our lorem ipsum text and some Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube logos. So now we're going to start prototyping, which pretty much means to kind of connect the pieces together and to make it flow. So I'm going to name this landing page, and we're going to name this careers. So now what we want to do is head over to the prototype tool, and all you want to do is go to prototype and select your page, and we're going to actually click on career. So if you click on career on the top, okay, you're just going to auto animate. So just click on that, and I just want to drag it over. So again, what I did was I just clicked on, so I'm in prototype mode, I click on career, and then just drag this over here. And I'll show you how to do it in Figma as well in a second. And same thing over here, we're going to select home, and we're going to go over here. So I have it set to regular transition for now, but we don't want that. We want to select auto animate, which makes that nice sliding, makes it nice and smooth rather than a direct transition. So you can select auto animate, and we're going to just say ease out, that's just fine, and same thing for this one, auto animate. And now if we go back and view our design, it should nicely animate just like that. Okay, so hopefully this got you a grasp on really how to design in Adobe XD. And now we're going to head over to Figma. Head over to Figma, and same thing over here. So I'm going to do one of my files that I've already done, completed for this one. So go back here. Okay, there we go. So just like, okay. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is same thing. I'm just gonna show you how to animate in Figma. So I'm just gonna quickly just align these items together, and just to show you, this is just an example. Of course, I'm not going to do it all over again, because it is very similar to Adobe XD, and you shouldn't really have a problem doing it. So you can do Control C, Control V on the artboard to duplicate it, and then simply we want our line. So we want our line to be one over here, and we want our line to be over here. So use a rectangle tool and do a nice thin rectangle, hold down shift again, and I'm just gonna do FFFFF. Sorry, I'm in black, so 0, 0, 0, 0. And I'm just gonna adjust the size of this line here. So all you have to do, hold down shift and use the right hand side and just drag it. And there you go. So now that we've done that, we can head over to our other one over here, and this would be the other page that we just did in Adobe XD, and just put it underneath there. Now all you have to do is just go on the prototype tab, and you're gonna create a connection. So we're gonna start an interaction, and we're gonna go tap, and then we want this one to go over here. So navigate to landing page, and we want the animation to be smart animate, and that's it. And then go back to home, same thing, drag, 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 and then just do smart animate. So now if you go to Figma and you play your design, it should look something like this. So I'm just gonna let it load here. We got options, size. Okay, so this is on mobile, but that's fine. So as you can see, it auto animates just like it did in Adobe XD. And we can exit out of here. Okay. So now we are done with this beginning workshop, and we'll have a quick 10-minute-ish break until we head over to the advanced workshop. And in that break, you can ask us any questions that you have about this workshop, and we'll troubleshoot any problems for you. And yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this workshop. Hey guys, welcome back. So now we'll be getting started with our advanced workshop. So please make sure you got the assets from the folder and everything's good to go before we get started. So we'll be doing Spotify's homepage here. So it's going to look something like this, and we're going to have a little animation just to go about it. So search and home. So 2020 Wrapped, recently played, and a little song at the bottom. And yeah, so this is Spotify's recent home screen, and we're going to be designing it now. So let's get started here now that I've shown you what we're going to be designing. So now we're going to start off with a plain whiteboard. So I'm going to start off by going over to design, and you can start by selecting this artboard tool. So now with the artboard tool, you're just going to simply click on it, and you want to select iPhone, XX, and 11 Pro. So when you click that, it should open up, and we're going to name this Spotify Home. Right, for Spotify Home. And now we're going to do Control-Shift-I, and we're going to import our assets for this project. And so we're going to import our assets to Design Workshop, Advanced, and for the start, we're just going to open up all three of these, and there we go. So we got everything, should be there now. So, right, okay, so those are all of our three color palettes that we'll be using for this design. And again, I'm going to do Control-Shift-I just to get our actual assets in there. So here's our icons, and if you do Control plus 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 plus, there you go. So there's our icons that we'll be using. So I'm going to just organize it just by dragging it here, and just gonna drag it on left here, and I'm gonna put these icons kinda over on the bottom here. You know, and we're gonna make these color palettes a lot smaller, just so we can fit a little bit more. So now we've done that, we're going to import our other things from here. So you're going to advance and search our Spotify covers, import all of those. So there you go. And lastly, we're going to actually import our downloads, and we're going to go Design Workshop, Advanced, and we can lastly download, put in our Spotify covers. So drag and just pop it in. And if you're on Figma, just do Control-Shift-K, and it should be the same thing, except you just have to click every time you want to put something in the artboard. Alright, so we have this now. So what we're going to start doing is putting our background color. So our background color is going to be our background color is going to be 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, or like that. So that's right over here, and you can always, and I'm going to add this to our color swatch. So add this black to our color swatch. And so now what we're going to do is actually get this nice green glow that we can see over here. So this nice little green kind of glow that's usually in Spotify when you open it up. So we'll start by getting that in there. And so what we're going to do is click on the fill, and I'm going to select this little arrow, and it should give you a radial gradient thing. So what you want to do is simply click on this little circle here, and then just drag up, right? And what you want to do is to get to the point where it's pretty much black, but not really. And I'm going to change this color, and we're going to go ahead and put in our green color. So we're going to use this, and we're going to actually first add our color. So we're going to actually do that first, and then just going to add it, and then we're going to do go back to our original thing here. So we're good, and just do Control Z, and then just click and drag, like simply like that. Alright, so once you get like a point like kinda like that, you can kind of drag it however you want. Kind of like to make it a little bit bigger. And we only want the actual light side to be on the top leftish corner, just around this area. That's where we want our green color to be at. And we're going to just select here, and we're going to paste, or we're going to paste in that dark green color had before. So just like that. And you can find that color right there, which is the first one right there. So now that we kind of have that kind of set, I would say, and you can just move it just so it's that glow in the corner. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go text, and we're going to type in good evening. Good evening. Right? And we can do Control++, and you can change that to white. So once that's white, and just going to kind of move it over there. So we're going to get our first icon here, which is our settings icon, and we're going to simply just drag it in. Kind of like this, and I'm just going to put it right about there. And for our good evening, our font size is going to be 24, and this is a little bit too big, so we're going to make 24. And now, so what we're going to do is we're going to select the square tool, or rectangle tool, sorry, and we're going to just hold down Shift and create and let go of Shift here just when you reach your height again. And you just want to go down to just about the G, where the G ends. Alright, and you can just adjust the corners just by a little bit. So pretty simple here. And then what you want to do, Control C, Control V. As you can see, it's going a little bit over, but that's not an issue. All you have to do is move it a little bit to the left, just so maybe like about that. And just select both of the rectangles, hold down Shift, and then just select the right circle over here. So now we're just going to move it just about to there, and just going to make sure we're all good over there. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually fill in the circles. So for the circle color, I'm just going to fill it in with this nice dark gray, and we're going to remove the borders as always, because no one likes borders. So now what we're going to do is get another. So we're going to just take this rectangle, click on it, do Control CV or Command CV if you're on Mac, and simply just hold down Shift and use the right align, or the right circle just to align it and make it smaller. And we can change it to, and we're gonna not hold down Shift, and we're just gonna put it to around that. And we can just put it as a white color for now. And this is where our actual cover art is going to go. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller here. So that looks to be pretty good. And we're actually going to make this a little bit thinner, because I feel like it needs to be a little bit longer as well. So I'm just going to put it like this, around that. And what we want to do now is actually get this one on this corner to not be sharp or round, I mean. And so we're going to get rid of that by heading over to this little button right here, which is going to give us separate options. So this one's top left, which is not what we want. This one's top right, so we want to put it as 0. And then this one is bottom right, and we want to put it as 0. All right, so that's what it should look like now. Kind of looks like that. And I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller just to get some more space on this side for our little text to go in. So now what we want to do is, we're going to do Control-Shift-I again. Control-Shift-I. And we're going to get the feel-good ones. So the feel-good ones are going to be in Spotify covers. And what we want to do here is select the feel-good and directly drag it in into our design here. So here. I'm gonna go down, advanced, and then Spotify covers here. Okay, and we're gonna just import it. They just put it in there. So I can actually delete that since I already resized it for you. So might be a little bit blurry, but that's fine for now because it is going to be just seen like that. So we just wanted to kind of look like that. And we're just going to Control-C, Control-V on this, and we're just going to go type in feel good beats. And we're just going to pop it like right about there, I would say. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to select our peaceful piano. And that's going to be our another row here. So I'm going to actually copy this one, Control-C, Control-V, and kind of just put it like right about there. All right, and center it, make sure everything's good. And for the other one, next one's going to be peaceful piano. And again, we can just delete this one, and we're going to drag in our peaceful piano, which disappeared here. So I actually got rid of it, but so we're going to import our peaceful piano and simply just put it in there. All right, and now what we can do simply is just do Control-C, Control-V the entire thing, and just repeat this around 3 times, I would say. Right, and then for this one, we're going to first type in all the text that we need. So we're going to type in hip hop, hip dash hop. So hip dash hop, anthem, and then type in def jam. And then for this one, it's going to be study zone. And this one's going to be all nighter. All nighter, and this one's going to be hip hop favorites. And again, just align it. And I'm actually going to drag in the ones from the original design because this is a pre-recorded workshop. I just accidentally put the wrong ones in the folder because these ones are a little bit blurry, but rest assured the other ones will be clear that you will get in your folder once this video is uploaded. So I'm gonna go grab all of the kind of pictures here. So first one is gonna be hip hop anthem jam, and simply just put it here and just like that. And also going to grab the rest of them. Again, what you would do here in your case would be import them from your folder. And then all nighter is going to be control this one. So we can do Control V, and I'm just gonna put all of these album covers in here, just so it looks a little bit nicer. And you would do the same thing as well on your end. So now we have 2 more left here. Almost done. Study zone. And we can go to hip hop favorites. Pretty cool. Okay. Right, so that's our kind of beginning. And now we're gonna Control C, Control V, the good evening. And we're gonna just type in 2020 wrapped. So now that we have that in there, I'm probably gonna, so now what we're gonna do is get our rectangle tool again, and we're just gonna hold down Shift, and we're just gonna drag a small little rectangle, just about that, right? Maybe a little bit smaller actually, right? And so now we're gonna fill in this rectangle with nothing, and we can do Control C, Control V, and so I made another rectangle here, and we're gonna just make it a little bit smaller. So again, just hold down Shift and make it smaller, and I'm just gonna kind of adjust the sizing appropriately, and there we go. We just kind of want to make it like a little border around it, and we're going to fill in this with our color palette over here. So we're going to fill it in with this color. So there we go. Very nice. And what we're first going to do is kind of make this rainbow design over here. So we're going to go back here. I'm just going to quickly show the rainbow design that we want to get. So this is the rainbow design that we are hoping to get on the side. And so let's quickly do that. So how I did that was through something called a linear gradient, which is pretty simple, and you probably know what that is. So you can just go to solid color, so fill, and then click on the arrow, linear gradient. And what you want to do is start off with the white side, and what you want to do is actually get the color palette for this. So the first color is going to be this kind of orangey color. Right, so I'm just going to add that, and we're just going to add all of these colors first to our actual color palette, just so we have it handy. So I'm going to just add up all of these colors here, just plus, and this is going to really make it easier for us to go back to get the colors instead of like eyedropping it each time. So again, last color, and bam, that's it. And then what we're going to do is go back, solid color to linear gradient, select this color, just click on the circle over there, and then just click on the first color that we have, which would be this red color. And as you can see, it's kind of coming together now. So now what we can do is select another, so we just click on this kind of gradient line here, and that's going to create a little, so if you notice here, I'm just going to zoom in a bit. As I move this circle, the orange or the reddish color kind of gets expanded, right? So we just want it to be just about, I would say like there-ish, right? And now we're going to get started with the other color, which would be the black. And we're select black, and again, same exact thing, right? And then our next color is going to be blue, so select blue. And as you can see, it's pretty proportionate, and that looks pretty good. And we're going to select another color, and that's just going to be our, oh, looks like I accidentally got rid of it, but you can always just go for the numbers here. So we're going to select after blue, it's going to be number 1 2 1 2 1 2. It's going to be A4, sorry, A4 FFEE. There we go. That was a little bit wrong, but I'll edit that in the final actual files that you guys will get, because this is pre-recorded. And there we go. And then the last one is going to be after that kind of turquoisey color, and then we're just going to add our yellow. So there we go. Kind of looks pretty similar to what we had before. And now what we're going to do is just Control-C, Control-V that, and we're going to arrange it. So we're going to go Arrange, and we're going to say Bring to Front. So now that we have Bring to Front, now it's going to go above all the layers. So we're going to go eyedrop tool, and we're going to go to this color, and we're going to type in see how you listened in 2020. So see how you listened in 2020. Alright, and then simply go back here, and we're going to keep the font size the same. So 2020. And then we're going to just take one of these guys and just put it over here. And we're going to type in your top artists, songs, and podcasts of the year and more. And we just kind of want to center it just like that. So now we're going to go back to our icons, and we should have an arrow icon waiting for us here. So we're just going to drag this up, and we're just going to kind of put it right there. Awesome. So that's how looks like right now. See how you did in 2020. And we can, anytime that we want, we can just like expand this and kind of make it bigger as we resize. All you have to do is just select all, and proportionally resize this. So now what we can do is Control-C, Control-V that, and lastly we're going to put our recently played kind of header. And so for this one, I feel like I'm gonna have to go a little bit smaller for this. So here's the billion. Yep, so that looks pretty good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start creating a little rectangle. So we're gonna start by, and we just want that little gray kind of thing that we're going for. So let me just quickly show you what I mean. So we are trying to get this area now, right over here, and we're trying to get this kind of gray background on it, as well as for this one. So that's it, and I'm gonna select this, and we're gonna put in this color here, 2828, and which is right over there, as you can see. And we're just going to uncheck the border, and we are going to click on this line tool, and just drag across just like that. I'm going to change that border to white. Okay, and then next one would be adding the Billie Eilish cover, which is just here. So we can quickly add that to side. So again, I'm going to Control-C that, and we're going to get a nice high quality one, and just edit that. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me so far. And now we can actually move this entire thing a little bit up. So just select everything, upset the gear icon, and just like kind of move it up just to there, so we have some more room to work with here. It is getting quite cramped up, but that's not an issue. So we'll just continue on here. Okay. All right. And we can actually make this part a little bit smaller as well. And just kind of elongate it here. But we want it a little bit shorter. Right, and recently played. And we can just pop that over here. Okay, cool. So now we can select here and we can make this really, really small, and we can type in bad guy, which would be the name of the song that we are trying to fake here. So bad guy. And we're going to select the font weight as semi-bold. Actually, we're going to put medium for this one. That looks a little bit nicer in my opinion. And we're going to put in Billie Eilish. Oops. So Control C, Control V, and we're going to put in Billie Eilish. There we go. And we're going to just select a nice gray gradient from here, which would be just this color right here. There you go. Okay. That's what it looks like so far. Then we're going to just add 3 icons. So just these 3 icons over here. So, or sorry, not those 3 icons. This one and the play icon. So we're just going to add them one by one, I guess, here. And just kind of move it up. Move it up, all of these icons. Alright. So now we should have something that looks like this. And just kind of edit it, make it aligned, and kind of hold all of these, and there we go. Now we have those all aligned. In case you're wondering how I selected each of them separately, like this, so I just hold down Shift and just click each one separately, just like that. It's pretty easy. And then the last thing that we are going to do is get another line in here. So we're just going to copy the same line, but we want to make it a nice dark gray color, kind of like a black. Actually, not even a dark gray. So we want a pure black color that we had from before. So that's what it should look like now. And alright. Then what you want to do is get out your other icons, which would be the home icon. So you can get the home icon from here and paste it, home. And then we want our search icon kind of over there. So, and then we want our library, and lastly we want our Spotify premium icon. So just like that, and I'm just gonna kind of I'm gonna add some spacing, just make sure they're nice and aligned. Again, you don't have to exactly follow what I'm doing here, but I'm just doing whatever kind of, looks good. And just do center it, just like that. And bottom align these, just like that. Okay. So next things what we're going to do is we're going to add some text here. So we're just going to copy this maybe, and we're just type in home and make it white, nice and simple. And then we're going to do the same thing. I want to keep it gray, so I'm going to search. I want this to name search, and then we want this one named your library. Your library, and then we want the last one to be named premium. So Control C, Control V, just copy it, and premium. So as you can see, it doesn't look that nice right now, but that's totally fine because we can just quickly kind of edit it, right? And just about there, and I can select all of them. And alright, so that looks pretty good to me. Most of it is there, what we need, and now we're just going to make a new artboard, and we're going to start doing the search page. And for the search page, I'm going to again get it over on the screen here. So we want this page. So for our search page, it's going to look something like this. Right, and obviously you can go back to our good evening and our recently paid. So it looks pretty similar so far, which is a good sign. And we're going to start doing a new artboard here. So we're going to start by iPhone XL, same thing, right? Right. And for this page, what we really want to achieve here is getting all of, firstly, the background done. So we're going to select, and we're going to select our black color here. And with our black color picked, we're going to copy this one, again, search, and type in search. And then we're going to put the font size to 29. So once the font size is to 29, kind of just align it there. And use a square tool, or rectangle tool, sorry. And again, just make a nice big rectangle. So just like that. And I'm going to put it right there. And we're just going to align this search on the left, and we're just going to put the radius just by a tad bit. Just about there. And maybe we can increase the width of the search bar. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. So now we're going to get the same search icon from here. And Control C, Control V. And you want to put it up here. So now what we want to do is kind of just align it and just make it look nice. And what we're going to do is get rid of the border. I kind of forgot to do that, but make sure to always remove borders in your designs, because especially in these types of designs where you're trying to go for that nice clean kind of feel here. So I'm just going to align these quickly because they were looking a little bit messed up here. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Right, and we're gonna go to search here, and you can just maybe take this one. It doesn't really matter, again, where you take them from. So we're gonna put a black, and instead of peaceful piano, we're gonna put artists, songs or podcasts. So there we go, and we're gonna put the font size to 13. Sorry, 13, and just like that. So, and then you kind of just want to align it. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. And then we're going to put Control C, Control V, and we're going to put your top genres. All right, so now we're going to go your top genres, and we're going to put the font size for your top genres as 16. Right, so nice, very nice, 16. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to actually use the rectangle tool, and we're going to hold down Shift, and just until the height that you want, in which in our case it's going to be kind of like that, I would say, which looks pretty good. And just kind of put a small radius again, get rid of borders, and yeah, so that looks pretty good. Control C, Control V that, and we want to, so you can select all of them in case you have some alignment issues, and you're just going to align it with so yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to just increase the kind of height of those just by a tad bit, just like that. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our color swatches, and we're going to get our color palette, this one, to start off with. So with our color palette, simply do that. Use our swatch tool, right? And that looks pretty cool, right? So now what we're gonna do is just do Control C, Control V. Actually, sorry. What we're gonna do first actually is getting out your images, and I'm just gonna get those images from here. So that looks pretty good. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually duplicate this. Control C, Control V again, and then just kind of want to pop it there. So yeah, so that looks pretty good to me. And then we're going to change this color to kind of this light greenish color, and we're going to change this blue color to this kind of dark green color right there. All right, okay, so that looks pretty good. And then what we can do, of course, is add our text. So for our text field, we're just going to type in hip hop, hip, and then hop. So hip hop, and then it should look like that. And we just have like the little title thing that you get from Spotify. And then we can do Control C, Control V again. Same exact thing. So we're going to do this time indie. And yeah, so yep, that looks pretty good. Make sure it's aligned properly. Pretty aligned. I can actually delete these and just make sure, and just do Control C, Control V again, just to make sure they're aligned because we added the text. And quickly change back the colors to what we actually want. And for this one, we're going to put in pop, and I can put in dance / electronic for the other one, electronic. And we're going to just kind of move this guy up top maybe, and kind of just get it over here. Okay, so for the font size for these, I can actually put them down to 15. 15, and 15, and then 15. Alright. Now for dance electronic, we're going to put in our other image just directly on top. So it doesn't really matter where it is as long as it's like lined pretty well. Let's see. It's like around there. Let's say it's pretty good. And then what you want to do is get your other one for pop, right? And just put it back there. Okay, and now that we have that, we're just going to Control C, Control V, and we're just going to put in browse all. So browse all, and then just shift and then align it to the left. And then we're going to just actually take this straight up and just do Control V, and we're going to just drag it down just to there. So now we're going to name this one podcasts, and we're going to name this one new releases, and we're going to name this one charts, and this one concerts. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now we're just going to change some of these colors here. So for this one, I'm going to go with this color right here, this little light blue. And then we're going to go for this kind of greenish color. And then we're going to go back to an orange. And yeah, so, and then we're going to get the icons again. So just the podcast. Which I'm going to put like right there. Just about there. Actually, I'm going to kind of compress the size of this just by a little bit because it is a little bit too big in my opinion. So I'm gonna select all of these and I'm just gonna do a little bit smaller. Actually, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna hold down these and get all of these in there just to make sure that they're all the same size. All right. Actually, no, we're not gonna do that. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Actually, we can just move. Just to make sure all of these are smaller, just by a tad bit. Okay, so what we did is just drag over all of them all at once, and simply just hold down Shift and make it smaller from the bottom. So just drag it up. Pretty simple. And then what you want to do here is so now we're just gonna put in the icons or the cover art. So for this one, new releases. Just make sure it's aligned with the rest of them. Looks pretty good. And then we're gonna add the other ones, charts, and now we're gonna add it over here. Very nice. And then we're gonna add concerts. Concerts, just gonna go over here. Okay, that looks pretty good, right? And now we're gonna just get this entire thing. So we're gonna just do Control C, Control V, and just drag it right on here. So I have to select, and then here's a pretty important step I would say that you should do is make sure. So actually, we can delete that, and we're gonna get this entire thing and just paste it in there, just like that. All right, just to keep it consistency. So, like we talked about, consistency is matters quite a bit, and that looks pretty good to me. So, what we're gonna do now is select all of those. Select repeat grid. So repeat grid kind of just groups them. And then we're just going to drag this down all the way down. Right, just to like maybe there. And I'm going to make the artboard a little bit longer. And just like maybe add just a few more. And now you can just cut off like right there. That's fine and all. Okay. So, alright. So, oh yeah, actually, we're gonna actually put that back to where it was, and we're gonna first thing I forgot to tell you is make sure this is arranged to the front, bring to front, so this stuff doesn't interfere, and then there we go. And we also want to put in a kind of thing, so we're gonna put in as vertical scroll, and there we go. So now it should look hopefully pretty good. And also make sure to keep all of this as a fixed position while scrolling. Make sure that is checked in, or else it's gonna look kind of weird. And yeah, so that looks pretty good to me. All right. So now that it's vertical scrolling, all right. So I can get rid of it from here actually, and vertical scroll. There we go. Okay. Get rid of vertical scroll from here, and what you want to actually do is increase the artboard length, and maybe just like up to there, and just like there. Okay. So let's see how that looks now. Okay, so we got a little bit of an issue now. So as you can see, the icons at the bottom are not like consistent with that, and it looks really bad. So what we want to do now is actually create a little of a block. So we're going to copy and paste this kind of gray block, and we're just going to put it down just to there. And we're going to put this, and we're going to arrange it as backwards. And we're going to arrange it as back. Sorry, we're going to arrange and then backwards. And then arrange, backwards, just till we get all of the icons on there. So arrange, backward, arrange, backward, then arrange, then backwards, then I think that's the last one. So we should have done this before, but that is fine, I guess now. You could put a block here, but I just kept it that way just to keep like the nice hue over there. So I just arrange and then backwards, and there we go. So that should pretty much be it for that. And we're going to select this line here, and we're actually going to drag that in just so it stays consistent. All right, and I'm going to make sure all of this is selected. And we're going to do fixed position while scrolling. And we can also select this. And select. And select. So fixed position while scrolling. And now let's see the difference here. Very nice. Now we just have a tiny bit of an issue. Just the bottom part here, if you can see, doesn't look really that nice. So simply extend it, and that should be it to kind of make it look nice. So there we go. Now we have that fixed, and so that's pretty much it for as far as kind of that goes. And now what we're going to do is actually start animating it. So we're going to just go to start, and we're going to go to prototype, and then we're going to go from prototype, we're going to go search. So this is our search. So we're going to actually make, first before prototyping, we're going to make this actually white. And we're going to make this one gray just to show that we're not on the actual home page. So I'm just going to kind of take one of these, and I'm just going to select, and we're going to add these to our swatches for color, and I'm just going to gray, and we're going to make the search ones white, just to show some dominance as to what page we are currently on. So now we're going to actually start prototyping. So it's really simple to prototype. All you have to do is click on search icon over here, and we're going to drag it all the way to this page. So as you can see, we have a little line, and we're going to select auto animate as our type, and ease out, that's fine. All right, and then for going back there to home, we're going to do the same thing and auto animate. So that should be pretty much it as to this design, and yep, it looks very good to me. All right, and also we're going to add, just to kind of fix it up here, we're going to add our little block here, and we're just going to pop that in here just to make it look consistent. And yep, so arrange and then send to back. All right, yeah, so that should be pretty much it. Looks pretty good to me, and yeah, and maybe these icons just need to be a little bit more aligned in my opinion. So we're just gonna align these really quickly, and okay, that's okay. And there we go. Alrighty. So there you go. We finally did Spotify, and everything is pretty set in stone. And again, thank you for joining the UI UX workshop for today. If you guys have any questions, anything whatsoever, please feel free to put a message in the Discord chat, and we'll be happy to help right away. And as far as this design goes, I think it looks pretty good, and Looks very similar to what I made previously and looks awesome. All right, so that concludes today's workshop. So we'll still be here and we'll be online all day. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask. And also, we'll have our attendance up shortly, and the attendance will just be a quick test of your skills and a little mini project. And as always, you have a full 7 days to complete it, and it should be very easy, similar to the beginning of today's workshop where we just made that simple one-page website. That's pretty much going to be it for that, and we're just going to ask you to recreate something. So it's going to be very simple, and yeah, and we'll end our workshop now. Thank you for attending.